My brother's girlfriend told me she doesn't want to eat at our house because my face full of pimples makes her lose her appetite and she shouldn't have to look at something so repulsive during meals. She actually pulled my brother Kyle aside at dinner and loudly whispered that my cystic acne was triggering her gag reflex and she couldn't possibly digest food while looking at my infected face. She said it was unsanitary to have someone with open wounds at the dinner table and she was concerned about bacteria contaminating the food, even though acne isn't contagious. She told Kyle that I should eat in my room when she visited because it wasn't fair to subject guests to my skin condition that I'd clearly caused through poor hygiene and bad choices. Haley actually brought her own plastic plates and utensils to our house, saying she didn't want to use dishes I'd touched with my diseased hands, even though I'd explained multiple times that hormonal acne was a medical condition, not a hygiene issue. She'd sit at our family dinners with a scarf wrapped around her face like a mask and refused to look in my direction, saying my face was too disturbing for mealtime. She told my mother that she was being inconsiderate, allowing me at the table when I looked like I had the plague, and suggested I should wear a bag over my head if I insisted on eating with normal people. She said beautiful people like her had higher sensitivity to ugly things, and it was actually painful for her to witness my skin condition. When my parents defended me, Haley said they were enabling my laziness about skincare, and if they really loved me, they'd force me to fix my face before allowing me in public spaces. She actually gave Kyle an ultimatum that she wouldn't visit anymore unless I was banned from common areas when she was there, because my appearance was affecting her mental health and ability to eat properly. Kyle weakly asked if I could maybe eat earlier or later than them to keep peace, saying Haley had a genuine phobia of skin conditions, and we should be understanding. That's when I decided Haley needed to experience what it felt like to be too disgusting for dinner tables. I started by researching everything that triggered Haley's disgust reflexes beyond my face, and discovered she was terrified of feet, body hair, and certain food textures. So I began a campaign of strategic repulsion using her own weapons against her. Whenever Haley came over, I'd walk around barefoot and put my feet up on the coffee table right where she could see them while painting my toenails during her visits. I'd flex my toes and crack them loudly while she tried to eat, mentioning how good it felt to let my feet breathe after being in shoes all day. I'd ask her opinion on my foot care routine and whether she thought my calluses needed work while wiggling my toes in her direction. Haley would turn green and cover her mouth but couldn't say anything without seeming hypocritical about bodily disgust. Next, I stopped shaving anything and wore tank tops and shorts that displayed all my body hair whenever she visited. I'd stretch my arms above my head during dinner conversations, making sure she got a full view of my unshaved armpits. I'd casually mention how liberating it was to embrace natural body hair and ask Haley if she'd ever considered growing hers out. I'd run my hands through my leg hair while talking about how soft it was getting, watching her face contort with revulsion she couldn't express without seeming shallow. The real revenge came through food choices when I learned Haley couldn't handle certain textures without gagging. I started bringing the slimiest, most texture-challenging foods to every meal, like oysters, okra, and anything with visible fat or gristle. I'd eat them enthusiastically while describing the texture in detail, talking about how the slime coated my throat and the chunks slid down whole. I'd offer her bites and act confused when she refused, saying I thought she loved trying new foods. I'd prepare special desserts just for her visits, like rice pudding with extra lumps and tapioca with the biggest pearls I could find, watching her struggle not to gag at the textures. During one dinner, I made a point of eating cottage cheese with my fingers, letting it drip while discussing how the curds felt between my teeth. Haley actually ran to the bathroom to throw up, and Kyle had to explain she had texture sensitivities we should respect. I innocently said I had skin sensitivities she didn't respect, so we were even. I started inviting my friend Robert over, who had even worse acne than me, and we'd sit on either side of Haley at dinner discussing our skincare routines in graphic detail. We'd compare our cysts and talk about which ones were ready to drain while Haley pushed her plate away, unable to eat. We'd share close-up photos of our progress and debate whether certain pimples looked infected or just inflamed while passing them across Haley's face setting. She'd beg Kyle to make us stop, but he couldn't figure out how to tell us not to discuss medical conditions without admitting Haley's disgust was based on appearance, not hygiene. The breaking point came when I started dating someone with vitiligo and brought him to family dinner.